All right, so I am going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that you can see how we are going to register and book using a preferred partner of ours. So we should be all set here. Oh, so we're going to go into our IntelliTravel dashboard. And when you're getting ready to register for partners, we'll start there. You're going to go to the very, very top and you're going to scroll to the tab that says book travel. There you're going to scroll down to preferred partners. And one of the very first things that you are going to want to do, you're going to read this, but you're going to go to where it says download the PDF. Now, this is going to be your Bible for when it comes to finding out about our partners. This is so incredibly helpful because everything you need is essentially going to be here. It's going to list the partners in detail, what they offer, what are some highlights that you should know about them. And then it's going to also tell you what the commission is for each partner, as well as how to go ahead and register for booking through them. It's going to give you information on who to contact should you run into any questions or any issues along the way, and where you go to log in when you're ready to book travel with them. And that is going to be the case for everything. So cruise lines, all-inclusive packages, flights only, hotels only, even excursions with different partners, you're going to be able to find that here. So you do want to save this. However, when it comes to picking who you're going to work with for partners, I do not recommend that you sign up for everyone because the reality is that you're not going to need all these partners. You're only going to need about four or five. And something that I want to take you to, if you don't have it, and you can get this from our one of the other courses here or tabs in your school is this getting started USA guide. And you're going to need this for when you're signing up for your partners. I personally took a screenshot of, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit, of this right here because this information you're going to need when registering for the preferred partners. So you're going to want your PIN that should have been with your welcome email, or anytime you sign on to IntelliTravel, that's going to be what you're going to need. It's going to ask you for IATA or CLIA. These are for IntelliTravel, so you just want to have those numbers handy. Some do ask you for the address of your host agency, which is right there. So having this page handy at all times is important. Not all places will ask you for your USA PIN, but it is important for you to have that even for your own records. So something else here that you're going to see is that it's going to tell you who the most like partners that we use here in the USA, or a really good guide. So you're going to want to log in and get to know these partners right here. So I just wanted it to point you over to this resource. And again, this is something that you can download and just have it ready to go. It gives you really, really good information. But let's just get back to this here. So when you are here, right, where you download this under preferred partners, it's going to ask you if you want to know more about instructions. You're going to open that tab. And what's going to happen here is that it's going to give you more in detail of the actual partners and how you go about registering with them. So let's just say, for example, American Airlines vacation, you're going to want to see what that instructions is like. Um, and it's super duper, like it walks you through. It's nothing complicated. You just want to go ahead and follow those steps. Now, I will say some providers um are simple and you just create a login. Others will tell you that you need to um put in a ticket online. And you do that with IntelliTravel. So I'm just going to look for one very quickly. But as you can see here, each partner does tell you exactly how to go about booking for them. So I think MSC. Okay, so here's Delta Vacations, for example. And Delta Vacations is great if you're looking for packages. Submit a ticket through IntelliTravel Hub to be registered. So that is going to have a different process. I'm just going to show you that very quickly, how you would go about that. So you go to IntelliTravel Hub. Oh my goodness, I might be wrong on this, but I hope I remember correctly. I did have to do this for Norwegian Cruise Line, for MSC Cruise Line, among some other ones. But essentially, once you are here, you're going to go to submit a ticket. And then you're going to want to come down here and you're going to go down to supplier registration. You're going to put in your information. I'll keep note of this because I didn't. You enter your PIN here. Although it asks you to put it here, you also enter it here. You are then going to scroll down, and the ones that need for you to do this are going to be here. So you're just going to go ahead and pick Norwegian Cruise Line. Vax Vacations is another one. I believe for this one, you do have to be in the business for 60 days. Fairbus. So all the ones that require you to submit a ticket, this is how you're going to go ahead and do that. So now if we go back here, um, and let's just go back into this. Let's just say, for example, because we are going to do a demo booking and I'm going to do that using Expedia tab. So I'm just going to scroll down. When you are here, it's going to tell you this is where you're going to go to register for Expedia tab. Now, it does give you travel advisor training. I do recommend for you to watch these trainings as there's things there that you might not know. If you were new to this, you would go to join now and you would just enter your information that um, I showed you on that Getting Started USA just a little bit earlier. Once you sign in, some of the partners will give you your login, like immediate access. I think Expedia was one of them. For American Airlines vacations, for example, it did take about 2 days for me to receive the login. For Norwegian Cruise Line, for example, I did have to submit a ticket, but once I submitted the ticket, it was instant access. So everyone is really different, but let's just say this is going to be a demo booking using Expedia Tap. This is no different than what you would use using a regular like search engine like Orbitz or Travelocity or whatever it is that you typically use. So let's just say we're going to Orlando. I do like to use Orlando a lot because it's just a popular destination in the US with like Disney and all that. And so let's just say we're booking for a family, and they have two adults, two kids. So the process is very much like what you are already doing. Um, we're going to go to search here. And then with Expedia tab, you can book hotels, you can book cars, you can book excursions. So while we are here, you can then go ahead and narrow your search just like you typically would with a regular search engine. And then you can go ahead and get into the listings. So let's just say, for example, this one calls our attention. We already searched. We already find that this is what either ourselves or our clients are looking for. It fits, it checks off all their boxes. You can go into the listing. You can look at all the pictures. You can read the description. You can read the fine print. You want to check out for cancellations. You also want to keep an eye out for so their cancellation policy and their extra fees policy. Some places will charge a resort fee, so you want to have that in mind when you're budgeting, whether for yourself or for clients. And most of the times that will tell you what that is like. So you can go ahead and read, but let's just say we love this, right? It's so convenient. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So this is a resort, it's a hotel, but a resort. It has a kitchen, but it's inside of a hotel, right? So let's just say, for example, we want to reserve this one. Everything we've seen checked off our boxes so far. It does give you the option to pay now. It does give you the option to reserve with a deposit. It's completely up to you or your client. And here's that policy for refund. Fully refundable view for Thursday, July 10th. So let's just say the client wants to pay at the property. So essentially what's going to happen is $168 that they pay now, and then they pay the rest at the property. So let's just say they wanted it this because they want a little bit more time to come up with those funds. Again, at no time during any of your bookings are you going to provide your own payment for a client. Let's just say a client was paying with a credit card, then in that case you would go into the back office of IntelliTravel and get a credit card form. You're going to send it over to your client and they're going to fill it out, send it back to you. You go ahead and reserve that booking. Here gives you payment options. You can insert that. And then what's going to happen here is it's going to give you a description. You can put special requests if you need like a crib in the room or a handicapped accessible room or whatever the case may be. But here's where you're going to find your commissions. It's going to tell you at every single booking when you're ready to check out what the commissions is for that specific booking. And then it's going to give you the payment plan if there is one in this case. The first payment will be $245, and then the customer will pay this at the resort upon arrival or yourself. It does give you a very nice discount for being a travel agent. This part over here may vary resort to resort. Again, you want to just confirm the cancellation policy, read anything that's important for you or your client to know. And then you're going to go ahead and complete this booking, assuming that this is everything that you're looking for. Once you complete the booking, you are going to get an email confirmation, or you're going to get a booking confirmation. You're going to want to download that. And what's going to happen is that once you have done that, travel is booked. You confirm that everything in the email looks right. You're going to send that over to your customer. I do like to send the email confirmations to myself first so that I can read everything through. If it makes sense, then I forward over to the customer. But let's just say that you have gone ahead and done this booking. You're happy with everything. I'm going to show you something here very quickly. I did show you this with our using the back office alone, but I do want to refer back to it, and that is where you're going to get the credit card authorization form. And then I am going to very quickly show you where you're going to go ahead and register this booking. I do not like to have time go by, because if you don't register this booking, you will not get paid for it. It's not like when we book directly through our back office here, we don't have to go ahead and register that. In this case, we do. So if the customer is paying with a credit card is not for us, then we would go ahead and send the customer this credit card authorization form. They fill it, send it back to us. Something else too, insurance. If the client decides that they don't want insurance, that they're declining it, is a good idea to send over this insurance waiver that just covers you and says that you did offer it to them and that they declined. So that's a good way to watch your back, I guess, shall I say. Then when you go here to register a booking, you're going to book travel and you're going to go down to register booking screen. This is so much easier now than when I started it. When I started it, you did have to enter details manually. I mean, it wasn't complicated, but we're lazy nowadays, right? So, very simple. You name the trip whatever you want to name it. So let's just say we're going to name this Orlando Rebecca, assuming that this is for Rebecca. Once you do that, you can upload the PDF here for your confirmation. And that's it. It's literally going to generate it. All the information that's there is going to put it right onto this, and you register the booking. And then once the client travels, you're going to see commissions for that. It does not get any easier than that, you guys. And then let's just say, for example, I am going to show you very quickly. Oh my goodness, by now I have a million tabs open. If you were booking a package, so let me just go to American Airlines. I've done packages with them before. So we're going to go to American Airlines. And then with that PDF, it does tell you exactly how you are going to go ahead and um access this. For me, it's just easy to type it in. How do I get in through Google right this moment? But if you do have that PDF handy and you click on that link, or if you're in the back office with our preferred partners, then it is going to give you that. So let's just say we are booking a package for a client. In that case, you're going to find a provider that does packages. American Airlines is one of them. You can find it with Vax Vacations, Delta Vacations, and there's a few others. But let's just say, for example, this client wanted a flight hotel. Maybe they're getting transportation, so they don't necessarily need a car. They just need a transfer to the room. So let's say in this case, our client is going to Jamaica. Oh, wait. They're going from, we'll just say from Boston. And then let's just say they're going to Jamaica. And let's say they are going next month. Hopefully, they'll take me with because Jamaica is beautiful. And let's just say it's an adults only, no kids for this one, right? All right, so that's going to populate all the options. But what I really like is that it's going to allow you to change your flights. It's going to really let you customize this trip, and I will show you what that looks like. So the first thing that it's going to show you are the flight options. Assuming that you're not happy with these flights that it's offering you, you can go ahead and choose a different flight. And then you would just go here and play with the flight, the times, whatever makes sense for you. So let's just say like you wanted it nonstop or whatever is important to you. If you care about the time it takes off or lands, you can go ahead and really customize that. So let's just say this one right here for giggles is the one that we would like. Now, don't be afraid if at first you see that the package is like super expensive in comparison to something that you have found on Orbitz or somewhere else, because once it packages with the room, it usually evens out or gives you an even better rate. So this is where we have already picked the flights. We're happy with the flights because we were able to customize them. Now we're going to go ahead and book the hotel part. I really love that just like any other site, this does allow you to filter it down. Let's just say your client wanted it adults only. You can filter it down by that. Let's just say they wanted it all inclusive. They needed it parking. They wanted it to be pet friendly. Whatever the case is for your client. So in this case, I'm going to narrow it down by adults only. It does bring us this. And then what's going to happen is that we're just going to pick, any option really, so because they're all so beautiful. But let's just say we like this one. They are giving us an extra savings. They are giving you almost $500 off for bundling this. You can then go ahead and look at photos. You can then go ahead and look at a map. You can go ahead and read more information about this resort. Something too that I like to see is if it doesn't show me enough photos here, I do like to go to like Orbitz or Expedia, pull up some photos from there. And then let's just say we like this one. So we're going to choose the hotel and then we're going to continue. This is going to give you what we have so far. So there's our flights, there's our hotels. We are now going to go ahead and pick a room. Um, it typically gives you different options. Let's just say we like this one. We're going to pick and then continue. Okay, so since we are booking, as you know, this is a live booking. So something to keep in mind when you're booking for your clients is let them know that when you give them a quote, the price is subject to change. So this is what it's going to give us. It's going to give us the description of the flights, where they're staying, check in, check out. It's going to give you the fine print. Um, you are able to add a markup here if you wanted it to. Some people do. I personally don't. I would rather have a repeat customer and give them a competitive price. So let's just say this is how much their package is. This does include the taxes. It does include fees. However, please make sure you read thoroughly to ensure that the hotel itself does not have fees at check-in. And that was, you can find that in the page before this. I just went ahead and got excited and went over. But you just want to make sure that you check that. Commissions for this specific booking is 618, which is pretty sweet. And the same thing would go with the booking situation. As far as when you're ready to pay, you would get a credit card authorization form and send it to the customer. So now the client also needs transfers to and from the hotel. So you're going to have different options here. We need this one, for example. We'll just choose this one for giggles. We're going to add that in. You're just going to want to read, but let's just say this one works for us. Let's just say they're not bougie and they don't care and they don't mind sharing. Please select an activity for the desired. So what am I doing here? Oh, okay. Oh, duh. We need to pick when they're going to use it. So then once we do that, we're here. Now that is going to give us a new price, and that is going to include, um, okay, I guess it didn't register, so we'll do this again one more time. Oh, I see. So there were other options. So let's just say we like this one. We select an activity. Let me choose the date for that. Okay. And then we are going to continue. Sometimes a transfer that you pick doesn't go to the specific hotel that you choose at first, so it is going to give you a different option. But once we are here, um, to add additional activities, okay, so we don't need anything else, so we're just going to go ahead and continue. That now has your price. You can go ahead and submit the information, put in the credit card information for your clients. Just keep in mind that when you're booking, especially international, you do want to read what the international flight policies are, what they'll need as far as like forms. You don't have to do this right at booking, but definitely as they get closer to travel, it's going to ask you if you want to add protection plan, and then you'll go ahead and continue with the booking. It's not going to let me because I have to fill in all this information. But assuming that everything was correct, you would continue, and then you would confirm the booking. Once you get that email confirmation, everything looks good. You send that over to your client, and then you go back and you register it onto the back office so that you can get paid for this trip. Your 600 and whatever dollars commission, which was again a pretty sweet find. And if you ever have any doubt if what you're doing is correct or not, you just want to refer back to this. It gives you a nice little breakdown of everything that you're booking. And that is how you would book using a preferred partners. So I hope you found this helpful. And I'll see you next time.